saying I got decent prices, and I'm robbing all they niggas, girl, I ain't the decent type. She say she ain't fucking less, it's me, so she gon' keep it right. Every time I'm bored, I hit my bro, let's get a key tonight. He say it's some niggas talking tough, let's hit that 3 tonight. I know where they be at night, they take off the scene of light. I just hit that blunt, I'm in a party looking over. See my ex up in his bitch, she saying she ain't over.
Welcome to Beats, Beds, and Browns. We're here with Ethan Draco. We're looking to learn a little bit about his life, his legacy, what he's laying down, and we're happy to have you here. So thanks for joining us on Beats, Beds, and Browns.
Appreciate
you. We always like to start from the beginning, man. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, how you came up.
Well, like you said, I'm Ethan Draco. I was born in Bronx. I was born in New York. I grew up in Chicago. I grew up on the north side of Chicago. Went to high school on the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I've been rapping since I was a kid. I've been rapping since I was 6, 7 years old. I started taking it professionally when I went to high school.
Nice. And early influences. Who were you idolizing when you were coming up?
Growing up, I really idolized like Drake. Some of the greats, Jay-Z. I really started listening to Griselda around that time too. I started listening to a lot of different hip hop artists, and even from that, I was raised in Chicago, so I liked Dirk, Herbo, different Chicago artists that really influenced a lot, like had an impact on the world in general, even just like not even Chicago.
Absolutely. You say you went to school in the northwest suburbs. Tell me a little bit about that. What school you went to? You got family out that way?
Yeah, my mom and them still live out there. My mom and them still live in the northwest suburbs. After growing up in Chicago, it kind of gets to a point where like, all right, what are we gonna do? Are we gonna stay in Chicago? Do we move from Chicago? What do we do? So once my mom, figured out that she wanted to move out of Chicago, out of the north side of Chicago, I went to high school in Elgin, Illinois. I went to high school. That's where I met my brother, a couple of different people, and then that's where I really started putting, a lot more effort into rapping. Especially, my junior and senior year in high school, I put a lot more effort into it because, when you grow up in a suburb, instead of growing up in like some place like Chicago, you really have a lot more, that you can do, a lot more places you can go, a lot more studios. So, it's definitely where I learned a lot about making music, writing music, what comes behind it, what's in front of it. So, high school is basically just straight music for me. Other than that, I stayed in school. I did what I had to do in school, but music was always my main thing to do.
Sure. Talk to me a little bit about the evolution of your understanding of what it takes to be an artist, right? You said you were doing the school thing, and then you turned it full-time to being a musician. What's different? What's different now? Tell me about the process. Tell me how you approach it.
It's slow. I really had to realize that you got to do it. You got to really put to something without seeing any progress in it for a while. You got to really put to the work, and you got to see us more than just like the money side of it, or more than just like you got to really be into it, because the money don't come like that. So I really learned that coming out of school, I know life happens, so you really gotta pick your routes wisely once you're out of high school, once you're in college, So I never stopped school. Actually, after high school, I'm putting myself through college, and while I'm putting myself through college, I still, want to rap full time. I've been networking with different studios. Now I'm fortunately in a spot where I'm getting paid to make music. I'm getting paid like as a 9-to-5 to make music. So but you really got to have a mentality where money won't be there sometimes. Money won't come out of nowhere. The views won't come out of nowhere. Nothing comes free. So you really gotta work as hard as you can.
It's I run my own business, and that's one of the things I remember. I remember filling my gas tank up with my last $50, and I don't think you ever lose those moments. And
you never do, yeah. But even in high school, anybody around could tell you I was putting my last, to going to studios, not just like anybody's house or something like that, but to real studios. Even from the start, I was getting real videos, real studio time, like with good engineers from the start, because I just wanted to. It wasn't about how much it was, but how much it could help to have that type of connection. So.
Hold on, this is Hugo video. to the eyes a couple of times, again and again. I been getting sick, I pulled up before and fan her again. And I got a cheater like I'm finna lose, won't get her again. But this that 122 flow and the jet again. And I got her back in December, I need December again. They don't try coming for me cause them niggas don't got them to play, they don't got them to plan. I really give him some clout if he look like he wanted an audience, wanted a fan. Side of the party with shorty to know she was yours, she look like she wanted a man.
Talk to me a little bit about performing, and if you've been in front of large crowds, if you're in the studio performing, if you're performing videos. Talk to me about what that feels like to you.
With me, I really like the pressure. I like putting the pressure on me. I've done a couple performances when I had prior releases out to this year, knowing that this year I've only had a couple projects out. Prior to this year, though, I've done performances, with big audiences, small audiences, even when I'm in the studio around my city or something, I bring 10, 15 rappers in, and when I'm rapping, I'll rap outside of the booth. I'll put the mic outside the booth, I do different things like that, just because, that pressure is gonna come regardless, if you really want to rap, you gotta have the eyes on you. So you gotta be ready for that pressure, you gotta be ready to, stand out in front of any group that you with.
Do you remember your first performance and what that was like?
My first performance, I performed in another suburb in Illinois. I performed at a place called the Forge, and it was a slight crowd. It wasn't nothing crazy. I was just doing a little opening thing just to see how I'd rock on it. And I like seeing faces light up. I like seeing when, you got somebody as young as me. I just turned 18, and this a couple years ago, you got somebody as young as me coming out, opening after all these other artists and just blowing them out the water, little stuff like that. After going to the Forge, I've done a couple different openings for, bigger people that had bigger audiences, all through the northwest suburbs, My studio actually has an event space called the Creative Cave in Chicago. I've done a couple of different performances for them up there, and it's always the same thing. You can see when somebody's impressed, almost like you can really feel that energy, and that really, I like that. I definitely like that. Yeah, I definitely do.
Nice. So, being that you can sense that energy and feel it from not only your peers but then the audience as well, do you prefer being in the studio and having a small tight-knit group, or do you prefer performing live where you can really kind of dig that?
Yeah, I think I like the studio more. I definitely like the studio more. I'm a teacher better than I am a learner. So I like being in the studio and telling people, all right, let's do it. I like how you did it like this, and then but what if you did it this way? And I like seeing their faces. Oh yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love doing that. When I'm coming up, the only real person I had musically is engineer. I had my engineer, shout out me and Medina, but Medina was really, that's like my big brother now, and he's an engineer. So I always used to sit next to him and, all right, put this here, let's do this way. Okay, let's hear how it sounds with this, different things and different tweaks.
So you got like a live film study on the board.
Yeah, exactly.
Side.
So when you have different people in the studio and like 10, 15 different people, like on my birthday, I probably had like 15 people in the studio, 15 different people that were rapping. And showing people how to do it this way, and putting them on different things that I've learned really feels good to me. I like
sharing
that.
The knowledge, man.
Yeah, I definitely like sharing that connect.
Tell me, are you in tune with the business and marketing side of it too, or are you trying to hustle as much as you're trying to create? Yeah, definitely.
That's definitely what I'm looking forward to doing. I've had a couple different deals on my table with, artist development and, trying to get me to become a stable artist, and make my artistry become full time. So I've definitely been trying to, lock in with different studios that, know how to market themselves toward getting clients. So the studio that I'm working with now, Higher Learning Music Group in Chicago, they really know how to market their clients. They've been up for a couple months now, and it's really special to see what they're doing, and for them to be working with me and trying to make me stable, and then really push how I promote my music, push how I want to put different Google ads up or different Instagram promotions up. There's stuff like it's real positive. Like, it's really positive to see them wanting to help me do that.
And they're with the Creative Cave, right? So they're trying to create kind of an artist collective.
Right, so they're creating, right. And they just want to start, they're trying to start with one artist, and, it's definitely, I think it's really good to start with an artist that's, hasn't already maintained, like a certain type of audience, especially for me, where I'm really more of an artist that a lot of people know my music behind the scenes more than they do like in front of it. So for them to be working with me and working from the ground up, I feel like it's an advantage.
I love that environment. And not only is that better for creatives, but your success is not at the detriment of my success. We can both succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So talking to success, everybody's got a different end destination to be successful. Everybody's got a different definition of the journey. What is your definition of success?
My definition of success, I would say my definition of success got to be, me stable, my family stable, everybody around me stable, and in our own lane of doing something we love, like where we don't have to go do something that we don't want to do because, we got to pay the rent, or because we got to, So I feel like stability is something that's really big to me, especially now, seeing I can, save other people money or invest in somebody else's business through me being an artist. I feel like that's real success to me, being able to invest in other people how I was invested in.
Nice. And are you the only entertainer in your family? You said your sister dabbled in the game a bit.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely the only entertainer in my family. My sister, when she did that, back in like middle school, where everybody else wanted to do that, especially growing up in Chicago, rap was such a big thing to want to do. So when she did it for fun, I kind of took it serious and was like, okay, I really see something in me with this. So I'm really the only artist in my family, I would say. Everybody else, my sisters both have, they have their own like freelance jobs and things like that, and their own businesses. But creative wise, art wise, I'm the only rapper.
Oftentimes, when an artist comes out of nowhere, it's only a small periphery that they're really emerging from, and they get kind of labeled an overnight success. Talk to me about the realness of all the work that you put in, and there is no such thing as overnight success.
Tough, man. I'm glad that you said it, because this shit it's real tough. It's really something that you gotta really put your mind to, and put yourself in a mentality that if it doesn't go the way you want it to go, you need a plan of action behind it. You need a plan of action behind that. If that doesn't go that way, I got a couple of different songs coming out where I said, and I really meant it, I had the bus to the train to the studio. Like, we took the bus to the train to the studio right after that at 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, 8 at night, whenever we could. That was really what we had to do, and we had to put our whole minds to it. Like, even for me, coming to where I am now and being in front of a different audience, I feel like 5 years ago, I would have never seen myself here. Even back then I was putting my last to, Ubers and different lifts to even just get up there, or we would walk there in the rain, we would do different things that really builds you to say, like, once you finally hit like a positive place in your life, and once you finally say, okay, this is the win that we've been looking for, it really makes you think like, damn, I manifested this. Like, I really pushed this for myself. Like, I really put the work in, and this is why I did it. Exactly. Yeah. You got to do everything before it comes.
How close are you following trends in the industry or new artists, or are you just focused on your thing, staying in your lane?
Right now, just because of how hectic it really gets, because, after you eat the dream, sleep the dream, once the dream comes, you still got to work. So, right now I've really been focused on myself. I really like to watch new artists, and I like to watch how they're built, because, at the end of the day, I'm a new artist that wants to come out. So I like to follow the trends. I like to follow what's popping, what's new. I don't want to follow it to the point where it's in my music, because my real goal isn't to become like a trend rapper, or a rapper that just has a trend and, falls off after that trend. My whole goal is to have something that stretches longer than just a trend, stretches longer than just something that's here today and gone tomorrow.
Yeah, go. Yeah, go. niggas be tweaking for real. If you try one of them, and I bet you bustin'. I ain't saying that I got the drip on raw, but I called your bitch, she coming. And she wanted to smoke a little weed, I ain't even roll, it's cool, she fucking. And I got
In terms of someone who maybe hasn't heard of your music or isn't familiar with you, how do they find out more information about it?
Well, you know, Ethan Draco on every social media platform. If you go on YouTube, you got Ethan Draco. You got Ethan Draco on Instagram. You know, Higher Learning Music Group is a great place to find, you know, more studio time if you're ever in Chicago, and also find out when Ethan Draco is dropping his new album. So that's definitely where I'm pushing now. Soon, you know, we're gonna have different, you know, websites and link trees that, you know, is gonna make it even more accessible to find.
Got any live performances in the area anytime soon?
You know, because of everything going on, we haven't really been looking into live performances. We have you know, our event space even now, because of still COVID. You know, we have regulations that's stopping us, but as soon as our regulations and precautions are met, you know, we're right back to doing shows. We're right back to definitely.
I can't wait to catch you live, man.
Oh yeah, it's gonna work.
Outside of music, what would you say, or who would you say has been your greatest influence?
Outside of music, that's a good question. I think outside of music, my greatest influence got to be, you know, my oldest sister. My oldest sister, ever since she got it out the mud, kind of how I want to do it. You know, we didn't really take the orthodox way of, you know, pushing straight through college and getting that degree and going straight to that career, but instead, you know, she kind of paved the way for me to want to open up my own business and make sure that, you know, I can do this, you know, music on my own terms. Even though she's not in the music industry, she's, you know, she's a lash technician that, you know, she dabbles in realty, she dabbles in, you know, flipping houses, dabbles in just everything, you know.
Sure.
So she definitely influences me the most to, you know, get up and go get it and not, you know, not wait for nothing.
So the grind is a little bit genetic.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. We definitely like how we do it.
Nice. How about in your music? What's been a great influence or multiple influences?
Right. My greatest influence in music gotta come from Medina. You know, he moved from Egypt, found me on Instagram early last year, 2 years ago maybe. And within that year that he moved from Egypt, we kind of really built the empire of music, you know. He came and really took over the game. Like, he really showed me different of what I knew before that, you know. Moving from 2 different studios with him, or 3 almost, that we've moved since, I want to say 8-9 months ago. He really been showing me the game. He been showing me how the legal side works of it, how the marketing side should look on what we want to do. And, you know, he really put me in the mindset to make this music stuff work on a military type level, you know, where we really have to be on schedule for everything. We really have to, you know, lock in for everything.
Yeah, precision pace, right?
Definitely.
What about legacy? I know you're just starting out in your career. You got a couple EPs, LPs launched. Where do you see this taking you, and what do you want to be remembered for?
I really want to be, you know, I just want to leave that, you know, you got to be you to do it. You know, you got to really embrace who you is. You got to really embrace who you are. You know, I'm a Chicago artist, and I'm not really coming from, you know, Chicago. You know, I'm coming from all walks of life. You know, I've lived in St. Louis. I've lived downtown St. Louis. You know, I've lived in the Bronx. I've lived in Manhattan. You know, so I'm coming from a lot of different, you know, areas and backgrounds of people that really taught me to not try to be nobody else. You know, taught me to embrace me, and I really want to start a generation that's motivated to do them and do what they got to do before they go look at what somebody else is doing, you know, especially. Absolutely. That's what I had to learn myself.
Yeah, everybody's trying to be somebody else, just be you.
Yeah, definitely, you know, and I think the fact that coming from Chicago, you know, I'm going to have to, you know, once I'm really pushing my music and really pushing myself out there, at one point, somebody's going to ask, where you from? Like, I'm from Chicago, like, And that really has a stigma to it. You know, when you see, if I go tell somebody in St. Louis that I'm from Chicago, they gonna ask, oh, you know, so-and-so, or how it be out there, do it get dangerous, you know, stuff like that. And I really just, I stay in my own lane, you know, so I can't really say I'm from Chicago or from New York, because I'm not in those lanes, you know. I'm just doing me, you know.
Yeah, so many people wear Chicago, New York, LA, Indiana, wherever. They wear it as a badge of honor. And you should be proud of where you're from, but we should all be global citizens and be able to respect other cultures and be welcoming to other people.
Yeah, for sure.
How about a little bit on upcoming projects? I know you said you got a bunch stacked up. There's some coming out.
Yeah, this new album really crazy. We really kind of basing our albums being off of, you know, one producer for this album, one producer for that album, and, you know, just kind of spacing out how we do it. We got a couple different singles coming out in Cali in these next couple months. We got singles coming out in St. Louis. We got singles coming out everywhere around.
And so I'm just gonna start dropping. Is that what you mean by it?
Yeah, definitely. I have features in Cali that we trying to drop before the album. We got features in St. Louis, even features, you know, from New York that we want to drop in the meantime of the album dropping. Once the album drop, we really gonna be in full effect. After that, we want to drop consistently. We want to make sure all of our visuals are where they gotta be. Make sure all of our, you know, licensing is where it gotta be. So we definitely taking a big step.
You got it all lined up. I like it.
Yeah, I've definitely been trying to take a big step, and, you know, the biggest thing with this is I really took all these big steps alone, you know, so that's definitely something that also I want to leave a legacy for, is that you got to really know that you can't do anything by yourself. You always got to source out, and, you know, even while you're independent, you always got to find who works in what position, and, you know, really pick your roles in your family.
Yeah, you're only as good as the team around you.
Exactly, yeah, definitely.
Nice. One of the questions I just thought about, you know, I work in marketing, and now, you know, content is king, and new content, more content, updated content, edited content.
For sure.
Sounds like you got a backlog or in library, but I mean, at some point, you know, the consumer demand is just insatiable. How do you keep up with that, or do you feel pressure to keep up with that?
To an extent, but I really had to realize the money, and, you know, the chase isn't in just dropping music. You know, the chase comes in from the influence that the music has. You know, like I can drop clothing for people and people can come buy the clothing, but if I don't have these certain people, or a certain type of people, you know, rocking my clothes, it's not gonna look as influenced as I wanted to, you know what I mean? So, like, it's really, you really got to get in the streets with the music stuff, and really got to make sure the right people are hearing it instead of just everybody hearing it. So, you know, content has really been something that I've built to become something that we can preload and something that we can just drop consistently. But yeah, one day it's definitely gonna catch up to us. So you got to stay ahead of the curve with content. You really got to stay ahead of the trends, especially when you want to drop as consistent as I do.
Yeah, no, I like hearing that. I mean, it's a great way to avoid burnout.
Yeah, definitely.
You're not at the beck and call of the consumer.
Definitely. You're
gonna be creating stuff, dropping stuff, making sure it gets in the right ears,
yeah,
in the right hands.
And at the same time with that, it's like when I want to drop, I really want to drop to a point that's there's still some exclusivity in it. You know, there's still some point where I control the demand instead of letting the demand get to me. And I feel like that's where a lot of artists get mixed up, where they want to upkeep the demand instead of control how much, you know, people should want your music, when they should want your music, because you want them to want it as soon as you're ready to give it to them, instead of them wanting it when you're not ready to move around or drop the content how they need it, how they want it, you know. So
yeah, that's great. You're on 8 hours on a road trip, which I know you just gave 5, and plus a trip back and forth to the city. So which 3 artists are you locking into your playlist, and why?
I think the first artist we gotta lock in is Lil Durk. Lil Durk, he doing something that the city ain't really seen. Chicago has never really seen. He really putting on for a lot more artists, even outside of his state, you know. And they're hits. They're back to back. I feel like there's a lot of Durk songs that you can find that's back to back hits. Second person I gotta put into the playlist is I say Drake. Drake got a whole bunch of, he got catalog on top of catalog, and that's really my generation's, like, that's almost the greatest we ever seen in my generation. That's one of the people that, I had all his songs on. I had all his songs with the rest of YMCMB and Lil Wayne on the iPod, so that's really somebody I gotta put on there. Somebody else the last person I really gotta put on there is me. I got all my unreleased music, so I never get tired of listening to that. Anybody I'm driving with could tell you they never get tired of listening to it either. So it's real. I like driving to my music.
What about who would you like to appear with a guest spot on whose album?
An album I would love to see myself on. I'd say Future. Future, I think he puts together really good bodies of work. I think regardless of who's on it, it sounds like it fits. And I think that's somebody I'd definitely be,
that's a good pick.
Be locked in with, yeah.
All right, we're here chilling with Ethan Draco with Beats, Beds, and Browns. We're going to hit hard hitters and wig splitters, where we do a deep dive into the questions that our audience demands of our artists. So if you're ready to go, what we're looking for is just maybe one-word answers or very brief, and we're just going to run through them. Some of them are cultural, some of them are regional, some of them are nonsense. So here we go.
Okay.
All right. Beef or no beef?
Beef.
Beef. Cash or Queens?
Cash.
Big black truck or 6'4"?
Truck.
Truck.
Yeah.
Edibles or flour?
Flour.
Tupac or Biggie?
Big.
Bears or Colts?
Bears.
Nike or Champion?
Nike.
Cubs or Sox?
Socks.
Okay.
Yeah, socks.
It's a big one. It's going to split divide. This splits families. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Nah.
Nah.
It's a hot dog.
All right, ketchup or no ketchup?
Ketchup.
Ketchup. Hot or mild?
Hot.
Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan. Yeah, Jordan.
Ellen or Oprah?
Oprah.
Marvel or DC?
Marvel. Yeah.
Bezos or Musk?
Bezos. He getting money.
Bezos getting money, yeah. Jardinere or Jardinera?
I couldn't even tell.
Fair enough. Undecided. Vanilla or chocolate?
Vanilla. Yeah.
All right, nice. You just survived. Hard hitters and wig splitters, man.
Sure.
Nice work.
Yeah,
Tell me about your gardening experience up to this point.
my gardening experience up to this point is grabbing an ounce, putting it in the backwood. That's my gardening experience.
There you go. Picking out the seeds and dumping them.
You know what I'm saying? Really getting to the harvesting of it.
What's your grow rate been with that? Is that pretty successful?
Pretty successful, yeah.
Nice.
Pretty successful. It's definitely up there.
There you go. Well, hey. You're not separating male and female plants. Working into harvesting. It's all just natural.
Yeah, it's all just right off the strength. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Off the strength.
I like it. All right, we can bring this up here. Go ahead and give it a scoop. Give me a full cup of dirt there.
Okay, a full cup right now.
Maybe a little clumpy.
Just a little. I get it. Got it.
There you go. That's perfect. Tap it on the bottom, let it settle a little bit. And then put the yellow jalapeno. Tay, you don't mind if I plant your acorn, do you? Yeah? All right, let's scoop in here.
So what I put in here out of that?
So this is hundreds of individual seeds. Each one of these would turn into a plant. So we harvested these from last year just as we're scooping them out to eat them. Mm-hmm. We just set them aside and then clean them and dry them. Yeah. So you just sprinkle half a dozen or so in there. Okay. And then you'll make sure that they settle in. And the good thing is there's no right or wrong way. And you can just push those in a little bit, about a half inch, quarter inch.
Just push them all in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you want to get them real wet with this.
Oh, this
And you want to keep them watered every day or so. Make sure you get a nice spritz or pour from a
Get
cup.
it wet right on top?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You just want that to be nice and glossy on top. Make sure it's wet.
So when do I stop with the wet in the dirt? Because can't that affect how you plant?
Yeah, you can definitely overwater. And optimally, there would be holes in the bottom of these cups. So you don't want to overwater right now while they're in a cup that can't drain. But
That's good.
yeah, keep going. You want to get the whole thing. Yeah. Especially early on. Typically, we would soak these seeds
Right.
overnight and before we put them in so that they're ready to spring. And you want to give it sunlight and water. Yeah, that's good.
Good. Okay, cool.
And then where did the acorns go?
So I need a plant in my house.
Yeah, put that in a window and pretty soon you'll have something to talk to, keep you company.
So,
You'll be going nuts like me. You'll have a whole yard full.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? I like love flowers and plants. I don't know about the vegetables though. My mom used to plant a lot of vegetables and like tomatoes. We had a little tomato tree.
Okay.
But I don't know about the vegetables. I don't know how to keep those. I wouldn't eat no vegetable that I would grow.
You wouldn't.
I don't think
It'd be
that's
better
safe.
for you.
I don't think it's safe if I grew it.
No. See, this is part of the reason that I do it is to keep my family safe. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Maybe not. Maybe just normal. But around. If you want to give that a couple spritzes, all of the store-bought stuff is either planted in commercial fields that has chemicals in it, or is stored. Like apples usually sit for a year covered in wax. Yeah, keep going, man. I'm doing 20, 25 squirts a day, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Soaking. And, under the right conditions, right? Moisture, sunlight, heat, you could see as soon as 7, but probably in 14 days. You'll start to see if you tend it every day. Just make sure you're getting it wet. And then you'll have some sprouts pop up. And then you'll have to shoot me a text and...
what's the next steps? Because, I don't know how to grow no jalapeno.
No, so let's go to it. Let's let me bring over the yellow.
So you already got some yellow peppers in there.
So this one took a while. But you'll get little stems like these little seedlings.
Oh, okay.
And then like if you're in the cup and you get a half dozen, you can just break up the dirt and move them into either a pot like this or out into the ground. And it's weird because it's really fragile, but it's also very tough, right? So you just put a finger in the dirt, make sure there's loose dirt around it, put that plant down there, make sure the root's wet, water it, and it'll just keep growing right there.
Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, it's real nice.
I'm gonna start planting now.
All right, so that's the portion of our interview with Ethan Draco. We've covered beets, we've covered beds. Now we're gonna go give a tour of the yard and gardens, and now we're gonna see if Ethan will be kind enough to sign our banner on one of our bricks.
For sure.
So, thanks, man. I appreciate your time, and we appreciate you coming out.
Thank you.
Thanks for working with us, and we'll look forward to co-promoting this as we come out late in the summer.